Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. Yo, yo. Okay. All right, man. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Chiflaro. Subscribe, like, share. Might as well say it now. But you guys don't like doing it anyway, so it's, you know what I mean? What can I tell you? I'm just kidding, man. Appreciate you guys that do. This class is a request from a brother, which I think is a good idea. And I'm thankful that he asked me because I'm glad he did, because I actually sat down and went through it as best as I could, kind of to get the class going. You know what I mean? Now, what I'm gonna do? Well, first of all, hold on. Let's go, let's go, man. Come on. Hey, first of all, what up? All will be revealed. All right, Sunday. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years." Look, I'm gonna show you what I've learned, and I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna show you what I do and how I came about it, and maybe none of it makes sense to y'all. Uh, you know, it's taken me a few years to really get this packed, at least for the best of my understanding, to where I'm at. We're in the time of atonement, family. This is not, we're not atoning. We're atoning every day. These days are very significant. There's one thing that you want to get right is the Sabbath, I think. You know what I'm saying? So let's begin, man. Let's begin. There's gonna be some scriptures. I'm gonna show you some uh a calendar, and then I'll read you guys some other books that typically are not in what we obviously read. But I'm gonna prove to you guys how the new moon is based on the dark moon, and I'm gonna use Enoch, and I'm gonna prove how we fell off in Jubilees and how some people misunderstand that, and I'm gonna show you how what I mean. You can't have to. First of all, there's no two calendars in the Bible. Okay? So anybody that right now, for example, these people here, they keep Sabbath on Friday and Saturday, and I'm not criticizing none of my brothers and sisters. Y'all know how I feel about you guys, but I'm talking about these other ones, right? You keep Sabbath on Friday and Saturday, even though there's no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday in the scriptures. But you keep Sabbath on Friday and Saturday, and then you keep the high holy day, but you base it off of the full moon. Where is the calendars? Where are the two calendars that you guys are talking about? I'd like inquiring minds like to know. Now, there is a doctrine out there which these one West indoctrinized idiots like to use, and they like to go to these scriptures where the moon and the sun revolve around the earth, which is the reason why they don't dictate which day the Sabbath falls. For real, IOIC teaches that. Oh, they'll go through Joshua and a couple other scriptures in Chronicles. Whatever school that you know of that believes that 12 tribe chart or whatever that crap is, or they keep the Sabbath every Friday and Saturday, and yet they celebrate the high holy days on new moon, well, not even new moon, on full moon, you know what they're about. Colossians 2 and 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy, science, ciencia, and vain deceit, meaning fruitless, pointless, vain, empty, without inspection. What I find is that you dummies, you probably, and I'm not talking about anybody here that's on, you know what I'm saying? You specific ones that like to attack this channel, you dummies don't know how to follow this. And you try and it's complicated. So you say, you know what? I can't have a congregation and ask these people for money because I can't explain it myself. And let alone these idiots don't understand either. So let's just keep it on a Friday and Saturday. And then, the noon, when it shows up in the moon, we'll just figure out a way to understand it. Again, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit after the traditions of men. What are the traditions of men? For example, January February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Which at one point they were even changed to so-called Hebrew names, which in reality were never names, they were just numbers. But we'll just say them: Nasin, Abib, the year corn, Ivyar, I'm sorry, April, Sivan is May, Tammuz is June, Ab is July, Elul is August, Tishri is September, Mar Hashvan is October, Kislev is November, as best as I can say it, Tibet December, Shabbat January, Adar is February. But technically, there were numbers. You'll see throughout the scriptures that it says on the first day of the third month, on the 15th day of the seventh month, on the 8th day of the fourth month. It doesn't say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, nor does it say Jan, Fran, Wham. Thank you, ma'am. It doesn't say none of that. So again, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. How? After the traditions of men. How? After the rudiments of the world, and not after the Mashiach. Okay? And not, oh, by the way, I downloaded this thing because I found out that it actually says it in the way I like to say it. Mashiach. See that? See that, family? Gotcha, bitch. Sorry about that. Not trying to convolate those kind of words in this, but in reality, that word is in the Bible. So, oh well, too bad. Gotcha, bitch. Anyhow, here's how these people will fool you and spoil you through their philosophy, through their deceit, through their lack of understanding, because you cannot get a whole congregation under this understanding, because it is not an easy task to follow these how can I say, luminary powers, so to speak. Okay? It's not easy. It is time consuming, and you have to plan out the year. You do have to. So that's why you be careful, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after the Mashiach. Now, how and why is that going to happen? What will be one of the ways, family? Very simple. Daniel 25, y'all probably know this. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the Most High. I don't know how to say that. Okay, and I'm not going to pronounce that other word. And think to change times and laws. That's one way where you can start seducing people by what? Philosophy, vain deceit. Hey, listen, Christmas is cool on December. By the way, in case y'all don't know, how can New Year be 1 month into December? How? You tell me how. Explain that to me. How can New Year be 1 month into December? I mean, in case you guys don't know this, okay? If you don't understand why that's important to clarify, you will not know the parables of the scriptures. If you don't know how to even understand harvesting of any sort, you won't understand the scriptures. For example, the parable of the fig tree or the fig leaf. When you see the tender leaf, it is not time yet. You want to know why it says that? Do you want to know why it says that? I'm not even going to go there just for the sake of time. It's because when the season of winter is about to begin, which is a late autumn, early winter, late November, you start seeing the trees budding, like the branch is starting to kind of bud their little leaf. But it's not time yet. It's not summer, because you still got to go through spring. If you don't understand these kind of concepts, you'll never get the Bible. It wasn't meant for you. Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out, the Kodeshim, I guess, of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given unto his hand until a period of time and times in the dividing of times, which is why we have 2024, January 16th. 2024, January 16th. Now, Am I gonna really get into the names of the months? No, not necessarily. That's not my concern. I'm gonna show you the importance of having to get the Sabbath right or the new moon right, because then the other days tend to fall in its place. Now, if you don't take the time to study how calendars work, which I never did, but I was asked to do a class, so I studied it. And it's really not that complicated. But I understand that it doesn't take a simpleton to figure it out. It's not that complicated, but it's not that simple. Especially when you're probably with a lot of problems and you haven't repented. Most High ain't gonna give you this understanding. I'm gonna tell you that to you right now. That's not to claim that I'm any better than you or anybody else, but I'm just saying that's how the scriptures work. If he sees the spirit in you, if you don't got it, man, he ain't giving it to you. First Peter chapter 4, verse 2. I'm gonna go back and forth with this. Okay, so just keep that in mind, okay? For First Peter chapter 4, verse I'll read 1. For as much then as Mashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. You see, I'm not trying to follow everybody's ways. I'm trying to do it right as best as I can. Doesn't make me right at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I hope you don't understand. You understand what I mean. I'm trying to do my best to follow this way. Let me read it again. For as much as then as the Mashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. Why? Because you're going to suffer. For he that has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. What does that mean? That's why you either give unto repentance or you give unto sin. The laws never were done away with, dummies. That he no longer should live the rest of its time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High. You, meaning you. For the time past, our lives may suffice us to have wrought the will of other nations. Vain philosophy, customs of the people, ungodly ways, celebrating Christmas, celebrating Thanksgiving, celebrating New Year's, or keeping the Sabbath on a Friday and Saturday without knowing that that could be wrong. No, because it's convenient. I get it for y'all that don't understand yet, but for you that do, you may have to want to, man, if the spirit is in you, you need to start paying attention. And again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this is what I'm going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. I'm just telling you, I'm going to do this. And you're going to do whatever y'all want to do. So I'm going to give you the scriptures to prove to you that it is the way that at least I'm seeing it. Now, anybody wants to come on the channel later on when I'm done with this class and debate me about these things, we can. But first, you're going to have to debate me about some other stuff because this is not the only angle they got with me. Just going to say that to you. For the time past, our lives may suffice as to have wrought the will of other nations, costumbres, Friday, Saturday, the day of remember, a Good Friday. You're not supposed to eat all kind like other meats. Just eat fish. That's one example of 1 Timothy 4:4. Doesn't mean eat pork, dummy. When we walked in lasciviousness, also other nations would tell you because of Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, and Buddhism. All that was around those times as well. They weren't eating meat. They were vegetarian. So then you had other brothers and sisters of our people that would come back to Jerusalem, so to speak, or Yahushalom. And then they would bring those customs like, oh, no, they told me, because it says here it was kosher, the herbs back in the, no, man, what are you talking about? Like what was given to you clean is for Thanksgiving. Anyhow, let's continue, man, because that's another point. When we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, reveling, banqueting, and abominable idolatries, following the ways of other people, and not trying to figure out, is it correct as to what I'm doing? Am I walking the right way? Am I walking the right path? Or am I leaving things out? Or am I cutting corners because I'm too lazy to figure this stuff out? Because those are facts too, fam. Sorry to tell you. Wisdom of Solomon 14:16. Thus, in the process of time, an ungodly custom grew strong, was kept as law. For example, Christmas. Now, Friday and Saturday is your day off. Really? You work Monday through Friday. You have Saturday because you may work, and then Sunday is the first day of the week. Supposedly. Now, if there's certain holidays that are attached to religious, factions, and yet you have freedom of religion. But again, in the process of time, an ungodly custom grew strong, was kept as law, like what we live now. You trying to keep the Sabbath, or let's say the seventh day, because that's what it says, the seventh day rest, but you need to follow the new moon. These people are not going to make it easy for you to do that, because you may have to be scheduled to work on a new moon, or that seventh day rest, or that high holy day. But even our brethren who were in slavery at that time, they still managed to keep it as best as they could. Again, thus in the process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. Some of those commandments, we see them specifically in the New Testament. Titus is a small book, but it tells you real quick to the point. Let's just get to it. Titus 2:12, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust. Why? He says denying it. Ungodliness. The idolatry ways. Those other customs. Not following what was given to us from the beginning. We should live soberly, righteously, and godly. Now, when you see the Y at the end, sober, meaning soberly with an intent to continue, righteously with an intent to continue, and godly with an intent to continue in this present world, meaning while you're alive until you pass. You have to really examine yourself if you are in this understanding, if you really, really are about this repentance, if you really, really want to change in your life, like actually be a real man, a husband, you know what I'm saying? A brother, a father, you know what I mean? Like actually your children admire you, your wife does too. If you really want to be about that, then this is what's required. When I started trying to humbly learn how to do this the best way, I got more understanding. That's when I started getting more understanding. So again, we're back to these Januaries, Februaries, Marches. What do they stand for? January stands for Janus, in case you guys don't know. The protector of gates, they call it. Now, some of you guys are familiar to, like, it's depicted with a two-faced kind of presentation, you know what I'm saying? Right? But again, remember, it's the month of death. If you guys don't know this, it's because it's winter. Remember, everything dies. Everything dies. Like the old branches are wither away, and the new ones are tender coming up. That's why it says, when the tender is nigh, it's not. It's winter. It's not even spring or summer yet. But if you don't know, you don't know. Now February, February, you know what I mean? Festival of, hold on, I wrote it down. I can't really see it. I just wrote it down quick. Festival of purification, like atonement. You know, now I know this for a fact that in those times, because of like Valentine's Day, they would let the virgins run around, and the dudes would go slapping these women around with like animal skin to prepare them for fertility. It has to do with Valentine's. Now March is Martias, okay? Like Mars, Mars, the moon, the world. April is Aprilias. May is Mayas. Maester being the Roman goddess. June is Junius or Juno. And now I kind of, it's weird, man, because it's like it was referencing a young man opposed to an old man. To becoming young to an old man, something to that effect. I guess half the year. Maybe that's what it is. Half the year. July is Julius Caesar. Obviously, it makes sense. August, I'm sure you guys know. Well, it's regarding Augustus Sextilius. That's his name, Roman emperor. I think 6 months. His birthday was like 6 months of the year. August, whatever. August. Remember, these numbers are like Agosto, ocho, Septiembre 7, Septembrias, meaning 7. October is Octobius, like octagon 8. November is like 9. December, obviously, this. So these are the names that you were given. These are the teachings that you're supposed to be denying, because if you think celebrating New Year is not a problem, then you don't even know what part of the year you're in. Now, I will tell you this for you guys that do say, oh, well, we keep the Friday, Saturday because whatever. Listen, I did the counting. Last year, you guys, by keeping the Friday and Saturday, was exactly 54 weeks in that year, which means it's 13 and a half months from that point to that point. 13 and a half months. Make that make sense? You don't even understand the whole concept of leap years or anything like that. But no, hey, listen, what do I know, right? What do I know? What do I know? Guess maybe I don't know much. But anyways, let's begin, man. Let's get going on this. Let's start tackling these things. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 15. Let's go to it. Check this out. It says, take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves. Okay? Let me read it again. It says here, Deuteronomy 4:15. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that Yahoo, the name of our Creator, spoke unto you in Korah out of the midst of fire. Now it says, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure. Now that's for you guys. Oh, well, Exodus 20 said if you have to bad. No, it says just don't make no images. Why are you guys worshiping your images of yourselves? Nate? Pope? White Jesus? Come on, man. What's wrong with y'all? Buddhists? Krishna? What is wrong with you people? Muhammad? Really? You guys worship yourselves. You want an image like the likeness of a male and female. Krishna, Diana, Hecates, Libertas, Queen of Heaven. But this is my point. The likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of the winged fowl that is in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. As we know, there's religions that have the sign of the fish, which they use towards Jesus. And now it says, verse 19, unless you lift your eyes unto heaven, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven should be driven to worship them and serve them, which Yahoo, the Most High, has divided unto all nations under the whole heaven, meaning it's not your business to follow those things. Now, this is why you get horoscopes, family. Okay? I'll give you an example. If you do, let's say, for example, a pie chart, right? Let's say you got like a pie chart of some sort. Okay? I should have done that, but I mean, while I'm talking, maybe I can find one. A pie chart of some sort. Okay? Now, in this pie chart, you have, I don't know, what can I put it? What can we say? Let's do maybe, let's see. I think I'm going to find one here. Let's do 12. Okay? Here we go right here. Let's see. All right, here we go. Boom. I'm going to download this quick just to show y'all, to show you guys where all this leads to. Why it's important to be grounded, rooted. Oh, and I got a scary scripture for y'all at the end. That's why it's important to be grounded and rooted before you go and try to teach other people or try to think that, someone may not be able to teach you. Okay? So, for example, it says here, don't let the moons and the stars to trick you, right? So, this is where this old design comes from of religion. You have the circle, right? And the stars, and the star in the center. North, south, east, west. Now, I'm not going to get into it here, family, but what Enoch was talking about was these gates. Okay? I'm not going to get into it, man. This is too heavy. I'm only trying to show you the moon because I will do the class, Lord willing, where I may be able to do like a virtual design where you see the movements coming abroad. So it moves, travels, moves, travel. It's I can't explain it just yet, family.
My point being is this. This is where people go wrong. You see the star right here in the middle, down, cross. But then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What do you get? Horoscopes. What do you also get? Stars. What do you also get? Misunderstandings. Other religions. The moon and the stars. Don't go worship them. Clearly, it tells us that. Why? Because Yahoo, the Most High, has divided unto all nations, under the whole heaven. And it's not for them to worship necessarily, but it's for everybody to use it as a sign of times. For example, Genesis 1:14, like the brother had given us earlier. Check this out. I'll show you real quick. Genesis 1:14 says, and the Most High said, let there be lights in the expense of. Hey, let me go to King James, okay? Because again, I'm just going back and forth with this script, with this new book. I don't know. It's called Sefer. I'm not interested in it. I don't care. I use all kinds of translations, family. You know me. I read King James. I prefer it. But every now and then, I want to try a new translation. It says, Genesis 1:14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let there be for signs. And let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. Again, signs, seasons, days, and years. Seasons are winter, spring, autumn, fall, right? Winter, spring, was it winter, spring, autumn, fall? Is that again? I can't remember again, man. Help me out here. So it's seasonal. Every 3 months, 3, 6, 9, 12, or every 90 days, right? And for days, so every month usually has 30 days. There are some months that have 29 days. And there's some months that have 28 days. Okay? And for years. Now, keep this in mind, family. What we're talking about is, again, when I'm sharing with y'all in regards to why it's important to understand the new moon, it's not because it's a worshiping concept. It's because that allows me to know when the actual seventh day rest will be. That helps me understand that. Now, let me start with showing you some scriptures here real quick. Psalms 81. There you go. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Thank you, bro. There's even a song about it. Winter, spring, summer, fall. All you got to do is call, and I'll be there. Sorry, man. I'm getting old, bro. I'm not old, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, Psalms 81:2. Watch what it says. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel and the pleasant harp in the psalms tree. Again, take the psalms and bring hither the timbrel and the pleasant harps in the psalms tree. Blow the shofar on the dark new moon today on your solemn feast. Now, I didn't choose this for that reason. I literally just downloaded this right now. Okay? But I'm going to go back to this translation because then I'm not putting words in your thoughts. Blow the trumpet in the new moon and in the time appointed on the solemn feast day. Here, this translation seems to understand what I'm talking about. So it means this.
Isaiah
Hold on a
chapter
second, right?
58 and verse 1.
I didn't mean. Hold on.
Cry aloud, spare not.
Man. Hold on. I didn't mean it. I don't have it separated. Or maybe I do. Do I? This part. Blow the shofar on the new moon today on a solemn feast, or like it's written here, dark moon. Okay? Now again, I'm setting it up. Verse 4. For this was a statute for Yeshayahu in the law of the Most High of Yaakov. I can't really pronounce that. I apologize. I'm learning still. My bad. Trying to do as best as I can. Or I'll go back to the traditional, as we know. For this was a statute for Israel and the law of God, and the law of the God of Jacob. Hell yeah, man. That's beautiful. Now, let's go to Psalms 104. Okay. Again, I'm just trying to show you the importance of the new moon. Okay. Psalms 104, verse 19. It says, He appointed the moon for seasons. Again, for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down. Now, check this out. In this chapter, you see how he's speaking of the power and control that he has over the elements of the world. Who covered thyself with the light as a garment, verse 2. Verse 3, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh his angels spirits, who laid foundations of the earth. Right? It's like he's like literally like, man, like everything you create, Father, it's beautiful, it's amazing. But then he says, He appointed the moon for seasons. Without understanding the moon, you won't know the season because it don't move on you. I'm telling you, it don't move on you based on the leap year. That's right. It will. That's why it says, thou maketh darkness and it is night. So he's explaining the power of our Creator. Now, in case some of you guys don't understand this, I'm going to tell you that Sirach 43, it is used in such a, I don't know, man, a blind way. But let's read it together, family. So here's what the problem is with these camps. You guys read this here, in case you're watching in secret, and you read this here, but then you separate those two, and then you read like this verse has nothing to do with those whole thing. Again, if you read the chapter in its context, he's declaring once again the power. He's declaring the magnificence of the creation of our Father. Now it says here, Sirach 43 and 6. Follow me here. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times, a sign of the world. Now, people would say, "Oh, a sign, you can't see a sign if it's dark." That's your understanding of what the sign means. Okay? Now, it doesn't have it here, interestingly enough. See if it doesn't have the concordance. But it says here, signs, he made the moons also to serve in her season for a declaration of the times and the signs of the world. Now, watch this. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. So you're like, oh, you see, that's the new moon because it's decreasing. But no. In case you guys don't understand the meaning of words, what does perfection mean? Perfection meaning. Perfection meaning isn't just like perfect. Perfect. A person or thing perceived embodiment of perfection. The condition, state, quality of being free or free from possible flaws. The action or process of improving something until it is faultless or faultless as impossible. So we're talking about improvement, right? Improvement. Improvement. Perfection. Maturity. Maturity. The act or processing of perfecting. Interesting, isn't it? Now, if you look at, let me see if I can get this perfection. So, I think that's how you spell it. My bad if I don't know how. You see more definitions or more examples or similar words. Perfection. Let's go Oxford language. No, I don't want to go there that far. Synonyms. Accomplished. Evolution. Purity. Right? Completion. finishing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Perfection is it's like the process of completion. So a light that decreaseth in her completion. Now watch this. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully, interchanging. So if you read, from the moon is a sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection, meaning it's complete. The month is called after her name, after it's complete, increasing wonderfully, interchanging, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. So increasing wonderfully to be a light above so people can see. Like if you live in the snow, if there's a moon out there, it's very bright. But the verse before says decreasing in her perfection. Perfection. Now, how do I confirm that? So as I told you, I'm going to use this book here, Enoch. Okay. So let's go back to chapter 41. First, I want to make a point here real quick. And again, this is just to make a point in regards to the luminaries. All right. It says, verse 1, after this, chapter 1, verse 1, after this, I beheld the secrets of heaven and of paradise, according to its divisions and the human actions, and as they weighed in their balances, I saw the habitations of the elect, the habitations of the holy, and their eyes beheld all the sinners who denied the Lord of glory, whom they were expelling from hence and dragging away as they stood there, no punishment proceeding against them from the Lords of Spirit. That's a way different topic. Then he says, I beheld also the receptacles of the moon, whence the moons came, whither they proceeded. So, for example, again, not to touch on it, I will make another class on this. But if you look at this book, it has 12 gates and some on the left and some on the right, meaning divided. And these elements travel on these gates. So imagine kind of like a missile going like in that concept, but not necessarily. Okay, so don't hold me to it just yet. That's another class. But again, whence the moon came, whither they proceeded, their glorious return, and how one became more splendid than the other. You see that increasing ever so wonderfully. I marked their rich progress, their unchangeable progress, their disunited and undiminished progress, their observance of a mutual fidelity by a stable oath, their proceedings forth before the sun, their adherence to the path allotted to them, in the obedience to the commands of the Lord of Spirits. Potent is his name forever and ever. So now check this out. After this, I perceived that the path, both concealed and manifest of the moon, as well as the progress of the path, was there completed by the day and by night, while each one with another looked towards the Lords of Spirit, magnifying and praising without cessation, since praise of the rest in them is rest. For in the splendid sun there is a frequent conversation to the blessing and to the malediction. Now check this out, okay? Need to pay attention to this. Let me pay attention to this, family. Let me magnify it here. Hey, shalom, Julio. What's up, bro? Pedro, what's up, bro? Joel, what's up, man? Hey, Masha, what's up, bro? VTC. Sorry, I didn't see you just now, man. Anyway, verse 6. Now, check this. Pay attention. The course of the moon's path to the righteous is light. Let me read it again. The course of the moon's path to the righteous is light. But to the sinner, it is darkness. In the name of the Lord Spirit, who created divisions between light and darkness, and separating the spirits of men, strengthen the spirits of the righteous in the name of his own righteousness. Now, nor does the angel prevent this, neither is he endowed with the power preventing it. For the judge beholds them all and judges them in all his presence. Do you see this, family? So somebody's wrong. Somebody is wrong. It says here that the course of the moon's path to the righteous is light. That's an extreme important point. Here's why. I'll show you. The path is light, to the light, towards the light. Remember? Towards the light. Let's go to chapter 68. Just trying to make some points. And then I'm gonna move on to the actual calendar, okay? I'm gonna show the moons. I'm gonna show the importance of the moons, that we follow the moon based. We keep the 7th-day rest based on the moon, and I'm only gonna talk about 4 high holy days today. That's it, okay? And I may be showing you another video. I don't know yet. Let's go to Enoch 68, verse 26. It says, "By this oath, the sea has been formed, and the foundations of it. During the period of its fury, he had established the sands against it." Okay, no wait, did I put a 68? Yeah, he had established the sands against it. Am I the right one? 68? Am I 68? 26, man. Come on. Okay. During the period of his fury, he had established the sands against it. Verse 27, which continue unchanged forever. And by his oath, the abyss has been made strong, nor is it removable from its station forever and ever. By his oath, the sun and the moon complete their progress, never swerving from the command given to them forever and ever. So even though Jubilee said that we would be falling off because we stopped keeping them, that didn't mean that the courses were in its place yet. Still, nothing is out of order. We're out of order. We got to get in our order. Some of you guys are on the right train, but on the wrong track. Gotcha, bitch. By this oath, the stars complete their progress. And when their names are called, they return and answer forever and ever. Forever and ever and ever. So to me, I'm like, okay, then there's something that I have to do that is a perpetual requirement. Some things that just don't change. Some things have. Okay? So let me just show you a little bit about the gates. Won't touch on it too much. This is Enoch 71, verse 1. The book of the revelation of the luminaries and of heaven, according to their respective classes, their respective powers, their respective periods, their respective names, the places where they commence, their progress, their respective months, which Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, explained to me, he who conducted them, the whole account of them, according to every year of the world forever, until the network shall be effected, which will be eternal, meaning until everything is fulfilled. This is the law of the luminaries. The sun and the light arrive at the gates of heaven, which are on the east, and on the west of them at the western gates of heaven. I beheld the gates whence the sun goes forth, and the gates where the sun sets. In which gates also the moon rises and sets. And I beheld the conductor of the stars among those who preceded them, with gates were at the rising, and 6 at the setting of the sun. Now, if I don't have faith in my Father who has set everything in order, and all I got to do is get my ass in order, then I don't know what I'm doing. So this is talking about the different gates. In the 4th gate with the moon, in the days precise, the 10th part, the sun goes forth in the 4th gate, during the fifth gate, during the 30th day, then it become the length. It's like it's going real. Like again, will go over your head. I'm not talking about this right now. We will talk on this later. Right now, we need to get ourselves in order. Some of you guys asked me, so I'm showing you how I keep my rest day. Chapter 73, verse 1, the book of Enoch. Here it goes. And then I saw another progress in regulation, which he effected in the law of the moon, the progress of the moons, and everything related to them. Uriel showed me, the holy angel who conducted them all. Their stations I wrote down as he showed them to me. Their stations, meaning their entrance. I wrote them down, and I wrote down their months as they occur, and the appearance of their light. Watch this. Until it is completed in 15 days.
Are you?
Again, I wrote down their months as they occur and the appearance of their light until it is completed in 15 days. Now, if you guys read chapter 71 through 78, you'll if you understand, I wouldn't suggest it because, man, I'm telling you, family, I told you before, man, stick to the milk. Most High will let you know when. If you guys want to know the milk, let me know. Anyhow, it says, and the appearance of their light until it is completed in the 15th day. Huh. Hold that thought. Okay. Hold that thought. In each of 2 7 portions, it completes all its lights at rising and at setting. Let's read verse 5. Okay. On stated months, it changes its settings. And on stated months, it makes a progress to each gate. In 2 gates, the moon sets with the sun, and those 2 gates which are in the midst, and in the fourth gate, from the third gate, it goes for 7 days and makes the circuit, explaining the movement. Okay, let me not lose you. Maybe go to verse 13, and then we move on. Verse 13: the moon brings all the years exactly, that their stations may come neither too forward nor too backwards on a single day, but that the years may be changed with correct precision in 364 days. Now, in 3 years are 1902. In 5 years there are 1820, and in 8 years there are 2912, which, if you do the math, it's true. Okay? This isn't far-fetched, guys. This isn't nothing out of this realm. Makes sense. 365 days, you divide them into actual parts or moons based on 4 new moons. That's what you get, quarterly or seasons. 4 new moons, 1 new moon, 4 Sabbaths, 1 new moon, 4 Sabbaths, 1 new moon, 4 Sabbaths, 1 new moon. There's technically 7 extra days each year if you count after the 30th day. For example, if, let's say, January is instead of 30 days, it's 31 days, that's 1 day. Let's say March has a 31st day, that's 2 days. So usually between January and March, it's 2 days. Between April and, I believe, between May, hold on, here, I'll show you. Between January and April, it's 2 extra days. Between May and August, it's 3 extra days. Between September and December, it's 2 extra days. When you do have 7 extra days. Now, if you don't pay attention, every leap year or every 4 years, right? It's 28 days that are not considered. So, for example, this year we're going to have 7 extra days without a leap year. This was a leap year, right? So then next year it'll be 7 extra days. 7 extra days next year. 7 extra days on the next leap year, which is the 2028. That's 7 times 4. It's 28 days, which is why there's something called the second Adar. So again, to the moon alone, I'm sorry if I went fast, but I'll clear it up a little bit, okay? To the moon alone belong in 3 years 1,362 days and 5. Well, it says the same thing, okay? So now let's move on to chapter 74. All right, watch this. I'm taking my steps so you guys can see what I see. So and again, you study it, you pray on it, you fast on it. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Enoch 74, verse 4. And the harmony of the world becomes complete every 364 states of it. Every day is a state, like a state of mind in a sense. That's why you're supposed to examine yourself every single day. All right. So 364 days, 365 examinations. For example, twice a day in the prayer, you multiply that to 365. I'm not going to do the math right now. But anyways, for the signs the seasons, the years, and the days. Uriel showed me the angel whom the Lord glory appointed over all the luminary, and he is moving on point. Now, here is the I guess you could say dagger for those that don't understand what we're talking about here. Now, again, I'm not here to, impress upon a particular type of belief. You guys either agree or disagree. I don't know, man. It's hey, listen, what do I know, right? I'm just a little paisita and shit. I see people show up. I see people come up. I see people, man. I'll praise you guys for sitting around, and some people leave, and some people make comments. Some people don't give a damn. Matter of fact, since this started, there's only been 2 likes this whole time. It's pretty sad, but hey, it's all good, man. I'm not here for likes. I wish there was more so the gente would see it, but y'all don't give a shit anyways. So let's continue for the ones that do. Okay, so it says here, let's seal the deal, and then we'll move on to the days, and then I think we'll be okay with the video, and then that's it. The name of the sun are the ones Ariaris and the other Tamas. The moon has 4 names. The first is Asonia, the second Abla, the third Banisa, and the fourth Ira. These are the 2 great luminaries, whose orbs are as the orbs of heaven, and the dimensions both are equal. Huh. So the moon and the sun are the same size, huh? Pretty interesting, isn't it? Now it says, I'm going to explain this briefly. Hopefully you get it. Hopefully it makes sense, but it should. In the orb of the sun, there's a 7th portion of light, which is added to it from the moon. So there's light traveling here, right? So in the orb of the sun, there's a 7th portion of light out of the sun, which is added to it from the moon. So the moon and the sun kind of like share these so-called energies, so to speak, right? By measure, it is put in it, or it's put in, until a 7th portion of the light of the sun is departed. Watch this. They enter into the western gate, circuit by the north, through the eastern gate, forth over the face of heaven. Kind of like, I'm just, I'm still trying to, like he goes here, eastern gate goes like, kind of like a missile, goes up all the way up, and then settles down into western gate, so to speak, right? Best way that I can explain it right now. But I want to do a drawing for it, to be honest with you. It says, by measure, it is put in it until the 7th portion of the light of the sun is departed. No, hold on a second. They enter in the western gate, circuit by the north, and through the eastern gate, go forth over the face of the earth. You see that? Like go in, whoop, boom, and it comes back. Forth over the face of the heaven, right? Over above you. Now, check this out. When the moon rises, it appears in heaven. And half of a 7th portion of light is all which is in it. So there's 7 bars, so to speak, and 3.5 is in it. When the moon rises, it appears in heaven. 3.5 of the 7 bars, so to speak, is in it. Watch this. On the 14th day, the whole light of it is completed. Oh, yeah. Come on. On the half of the 7th portion of light is all which is in it. So the 7%, so to speak, that 7th portion is divided by 2. 3.5 goes into the sun. Into the moon, right? Or it leaves the moon, so to speak. And then in the 14th day, the whole of it is lit, is light, is complete on the 14th day. How can that be the new moon? Now, by 3 quintuplets, light is put in it. Remember, by 3.5, like 3 bars, right? Until in the 15th day, his light is completed. You see this again. Okay, now people get lost when they read this here, but I'll explain to you why. So again, the moon has has the half of the seventh portion. So the moon has 3.5. It requires mathematics. It requires understanding of degrees. Kind of like if you guys ever use this game called Logo, or you ever do those designs like where you use a ruler and you like mark each centimeter and you like cross lines across each other. It's like that. It's the same concept, man. It's arithmetics. It's mathematics. It's based on degrees. You guys that probably do contracting, or yeah, do contracting. You may know what this is. You just kind of have to think outside the box a little bit. It says by 3 quadruplet lights, it's put in it until in the 15th day its light is complete. That's why you see, for example, here, let's touch on it now since we're here. So, for example, January, this is a complete light. This is a new moon. So, if it starts here, by the time it gets to the 25th day, right, half of the 7 portions is in the light, which is why by the time it's in the 15th day, the moon has the half of the 7th portion, right? Only. Now watch this. So it resets now. Now what it's telling you at this point, it's saying, look, when it's actually increasing, right? It increases to light. It has 3.5 portions of the 7 portions at this point. Now, it resets and explains to you what's going on after the 15th day at this point. This is why you got some dummies, some one West indoctrinated Canaanites who don't know how to read the scriptures. They're like, no, look, no, dummy, no. It's literally explaining something to you here. And then it says, okay, now that I explained to you what happens on those 14 days or 15, now let's reverse now. During its diminution on the first day, its light decreases a 14th part. Why? Because at 3.5, it is completely full. So now it's diminishing the 3.5. And it does it in specific portions, like cells, like little cells. On the second day, meaning, for example, on the 13th day, it decreases a 13th part. On the third day, it decreases 12 parts, meaning that's the 12th day. Or if you go from 14 to 15 to 16, so for example, first day decrease it 14, this would be 16th day. On the second day, it decreases 13 parts, that's the 17th day, and so on and so forth. On stated months, the moon has 29 days. So let me continue with this. Look, on the third day, the 12th part. On the fourth day, an 11th part. On the 5th day, the 10th part. On the 6th day, a 9th part. Now, for example, if you get 3 bars and you break them down in little cells, so 1 bar, let's say 3.5, right? You do the same to each one. It's basically telling you that it's broken down in those particular increments. It's man, it's out of this world. On the 7th day, it decreases an 8th part. On the 8th day, it decreases a 7th part. You see this? On the 9th day, it decreases a 6th part. On the 10th, it decreases the 5th part. On the 3rd and the 10th, and all this and that. And then it says, and on the 15th day, the whole remainder of the light is consumed. So it went from being empty to getting to the middle part on the 15th day. And then now it's diminishing and now it's consumed. So in this point here, it's telling you clearly that the full moon is not the new moon. Oh, but I guess that's not enough. I mean, let me see if I can get you another one. I know I had one more. Check this out. Read this again. In the orbit of the sun, there is a 7th portion of light, which is added to it from the moon. By measure, it is put in until a 7th portion of the light of the sun is departed. They enter into the western gate, circle by the north, and through the eastern gate go forth over the face of the heaven. When the moon rises, it appears in heaven. Half of the 7 portions of the light is all which is in it. On the 14th day, the whole of the light is complete. Why is that? That's why you got to go back to scripture and see Sirach once again. Sirach 43, 5 and 6. He had made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration and of time and for a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection or completion. What happens then? The month is called after her name. Why? Increasing wonderfully, interchanging, being an instrument of the armies above. So when it's perfected, meaning when it's the perfection, it's when it's completely hollow. That's right. It's like kind of resetting itself again. It's like mathematics. It's just like mathematics. You have a cup and there's water there, or like sand. If you take the sand and you scoop it out, it has to reset itself again, right? So that's the beginning, like zero. Hello. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully, interchanging, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmaments of heaven. That's why Genesis 1:14 is so eloquent in its ways. Very simple, but again, it takes so many scriptures to show y'all. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmaments of the heavens to divide the day by the night from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years." Now, where in the world can I find Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Now, the book of Jubilees, chapter 6, verse 34 and 38, talk about that we will fall off, that we will be scattered. Let me see. See if I can get it real quick. Jubilees, I believe, 6, if I'm not mistaken. Book of Jubilees, 6, and I believe it'll be verse 34. Yeah, it says, verse 34, and all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and the seasons and the Sabbath, and will go wrong as to all the orders of the years. For I know, and from henceforth will I declare unto thee, and it is not only for my desire devising, for the book lies wherein before me. And on the heavenly tablet the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant, and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles after their error and after their ignorance. Now watch this. There will be those who will assuredly make observation of the moon, how it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day, the day of testimony, because you won't know where to start. You don't know how to follow these particular ordinances. And an unclean day, a feast day like Friday and Saturday, every Saturday, or a new moon on a full moon, and they will confound all the days, and the holy with the unclean, and the clean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbath and feasts and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to thee that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death, thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. For this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons and the seasons and the Sabbaths and the festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of fish. That's why you see all these other stupid damn heathens now eating pork. What did I just say when I first started? When you guys are keeping Friday and Saturday Sabbath throughout the year, you're actually going 13 and a half months. 54. You're supposed to average 48 weeks. Now let's kind of like start summarizing this real quick. Okay, check this out. Here it goes right here. So here's my the best that I could make. Here, calendar here. Oh, hold on, my bad. Okay, so here goes, family. Yeah, I've seen people back and forth a lot with the whole. You know why? It's because they don't know how to keep the moon. They don't know how to study. They don't want to study. They're too tired. I don't know, bro. I really don't. I think it's huevonada, man. Honestly, because it is consuming, and you have to kind of calculate properly. I use 3, ways, and You have to listen, man. You got to have faith in how the Most High makes this work. So, for example, family, we're in January 16th, Sabbath or new moon, right? Or Sabbath, so to speak. New moon was Thursday. So now you got 1, 2, 3, 4 Sabbaths. Keep those in mind. Now, here, this white one is full moon, dark one is dark moon. Okay. So next Sabbath, I'm sorry, next new moon is going to be a little tricky one. Okay, is an extended new moon, because when you actually look at the calendars, you're going to see the moon percentage decreasing at this point, and ever so increasing here. Now, keep the Sabbath for sure, but this is going to be an extended new moon. Why am I saying that? And why? Oh, wait, that doesn't make sense. No, it makes perfect sense. That's why Amos, is it 5 and 8 or 8 and 5? Amos 8 and 5, I think. Yeah, Amos 8 and 5 says, saying, here, I'll read it this way, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell grain, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat. Now, why is he asking? Saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and that the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat. Why? Because remember, it talks about, well, you always have to have two testimonies, meaning brothers that are like keeping track of the movement. They would confirm it. So some people didn't know. So in this case, the extended new moon would be technically falling continuously from the 9th to the 10th. Technically, it's elongated new moon. So now, the following week starts on the 17th, 24th, the 2nd, and the 9th. 4 moons, 4 Sabbaths. So the new moons are blue, by the way, okay? Now, let's go again. I'm going to talk about the new moons first and the Sabbaths. So now, on March, the new moon is on the Sabbath, on the 10th. Then the 7th day rest is the 17th, the 24th, the 31st. And then the 7th. And you see right away, it's a new moon. So that's in April. In April is 8, 15, 22, 29, and then 6. The month of May, the moon between the 6th, 7th, and 8th has a very small percentage change. So it's elongated, so to speak, new reset. However, the new moon falls officially on the 3rd. That is the best calculation. Now, again, we are estimating at that time. It's best to look at the calculation as to where we are, because it could be either on the 7th or 8th. Then, this is the problem with people. They don't want to do the job. The men of the house, this is your job. If you can't watch over your flock, your children, your wife, and let her know these are the coordinates, these are the actual schedule, then everybody's blind. Now, May the 8th, Wednesday, so-called, 15, 22, 29. June, you see the 5 again? It follows right after. So the 6th, the 13th, the 20, and the 27th. In July, that's a Sabbath, or so-called rest day, and then it's elongated new moon again. But it resets, and it's Saturday, the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. Now, as you can see, wait a minute, July. There goes the 27th. Wait, hold on a second. Did I do something wrong? Yes, I'm sorry. I should have marked this right here. Let me mark this real quick. So the August, I'm sorry, July 13th, 2027, and the 3rd, and then right after the new moon on the 4th or Sunday. Then 11, 18, 25, and then Sunday again, September is a elongated one, but it resets on the 3rd. Then it's 10, 17, 24. October, again on the 1st, it's also the 7th day. Remember, 4 moons or 4 Sabbaths, and then it resets again on the 2nd. 9, 16, 23, 30. Long again on the 31st and the 1st, between the 31st and the 1st, it's a 1%, 2%, 3% difference of the moon. So it resets technically on Friday. Then you have 8, 15, 22, 29. Now, I put blue on the 1st or the 30th because, again, it's one of those months where it's elongated one, so it resets again, but it's based on time now, it should be on the 1st. 8, 15, 22, 29. So on and so forth. As you can see, 4, 4, 4. There's always 4 Sabbaths between every new moon. Check this out. January has 31 days. That's 1 extra day. March is 1 extra day. April, May is 1 extra day. July is 1 extra day. August is 1 extra day. So that's so far, that's 5. September, no. October, 1 extra day. December, 1 extra day. That's 7. Every 4 years, you're going to have to consider the 7th. So now, why are we having a Passover on April? Some of you would think, well, we should be on March. No, because it's a leap year. So in this case, Passover falls on the 22nd through the 29th with the 8th day Sabbath, if you remember that. Now, on Passover is the 22nd to the 23rd. Then you have unleavened bread all week for 6 days. And then the 7th day is technically the Sabbath, or the rest day again. Now, those people that say, well, it's based on the full moon, well, you celebrate. Look, I'll give you an example. There's 48 weeks in this year, okay? But if you add them, it's 52 now at this point. So now you're 13 months in. You have to trust this, in a sense, you have to trust the Most High that He has this all coordinated. So if you don't know when the new moon is, you will be off on every single 7th day rest. And if you're too lazy to do it, then stick to Friday and Saturday and be accursed. Day of Atonement. Because again, I'll show you next year, there is no leap year. So next year, Passover is going to be around March. Let me see. Hold on. Let me check. Let me see if I'm mistaken. Passover estimated would be around the 11th. Now, let's continue here. The Day of Atonement. Because I'll give you an example. Last year, Passover was on the 20. It says here an estimated was I believe it's on the 4th April. But last year there was no leap year. There was 28 days in February. Keep that in mind. So if you look at the leap years before, 4 prior, 4 now, and 4 ahead, you'll see that there is a second Adar. If you look it up, you'll find out this is the first Adar this year, March, so-called Adar, that's what they call it, or reset, and then the first Adar, and then the second Adar, so it's April. Now, just to let you know that spring technically is considered about, or equinox is around this time here. But that's not my concern. My concern is when can I keep when are the new moons so I can follow the rest, the 7th day as best as I can. Okay. No, we can always go back to this. But now let me talk about the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement falls on the 12th and the 13th. That's where you don't eat nothing and you're fasting once 100%. Now between the 17th and the 23rd is Tabernacle. But it's 23rd because it's the 8th day celebration as well at the end. Now, those are the main ones that I wanted to talk about. So now let's real quickly read, and then I think we should be, unless you guys have any questions, I think we should be pretty clear. It's not complicated. Look, the Passover, Leviticus 23 and 4. These are the feasts of the Lord. Even the whole here, let me do it. Passover. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy assemblies, which ye shall proclaim in your appointed times. In the 14th day of the first month at evening is Yahweh Pikah. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of Matzah or Masa. You see that? Matzah? Hello? Oh, come on, shoot it, man. 7 days must ye eat. 7 days. You see? So we have that here. On the first month, right? Because it's a leap year. It would have been in March. But if you go by March, then next year you're gonna fall in March again, and you're gonna be slipping. You'll end up either going back or forward. This is the problem with people. I believe, just my opinion, that some of y'all are just too lazy. Because it does require some attention to detail. It does require some focus, and it requires some time. All right. So again, Passover, Leviticus 23, 1 through 6. You can find that. Okay. Again, Leviticus 23, 4 through 7. Now let's go to Exodus 13 real quick. Exodus 13, verse 3, it says, and Moshe Yahoo said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out of Misraim, out of the house of bondage, for by the strength of hand of Yahoo brought you out from this place. There shall no kamet be eaten. I don't know what that is. You know what? Oh, there shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out of the month of Abib. Do you remember I was telling you about the months? Now how they are calculated. Let me see if I actually save it. Here it goes right there. I wrote it down. Give me a second. These other names I gave you is not necessarily, it's not Hebrew, okay? So Abib is the year of the corn, right? The year of the corn, Nisan, right? So that's the first month of, that's the first day of the, that's the first month of the year. So just remember that. It's a bib. So you have unleavened bread, right? You have unleavened bread and Passover. This is the first month of the year. Okay. You can find that in Exodus 13 and 3 and Exodus 13 and 4. Now, Leviticus 23 and 26. You guys wanted laws, so I'm giving you laws, man. Take notes. Day of Atonement. Verse 27. Also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a Day of Atonement. So again, if the new moon is on the 2nd, the 10th is the 12th. And if the Feast of Booths or Feast of Tabernacles, it's in the same chapter. Go to verse 33. Speaking of the children of Israel, saying, in the 15th day of the 7th month, ye shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord. See, 15 days. So that's 1, 7, 14, 15. 7 days, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, my bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it says here, and I might have done it, I might have calculated it wrong. Forgive me. It's that 7 days to the offer an offering made unto the fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation. So you see that? 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it runs all the way to the 24th, my family. My bad. And this is what we fell for. Instead, Cinco de Mayo, New Year's Day, Martin Luther King, Valentine's, President's Day, St. Patrick's, Easter Sunday. Remember, take heed. Take heed. What was a simple one, man? I gave y'all a very simple one. People use this all the time. Colossians 2 and 8, it reads, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after the Mashiach. Anyways, so yeah, this is that. That's, I mean, in a nutshell, family. This is kind of what you're looking at. Unfortunately, that's just the sad part, man. And it's our job to get it together, because you know what? We don't really have a lot of time. I don't try to say we don't have a lot of time, but I don't know, man. To be honest, with the stuff I'm seeing, I'm hella scared. Now, look, my wife had this dream, and I don't believe in dreams and stuff, but she's like, I had this dream, and I kind of like a vision dream. You know what I mean? Like, she goes, because I talk about being rooted and, you know, breaking them clods like Hosea 10, right? You know, getting rid of all that fallow ground, man. You know, reap mercy, like actually plant a seed properly. Make sure you're the righteous seed. So you got to break all that ground, all that dirt. You know, get rid of all the old ways. You know, be a new creature, a new wine bottle, a new cloth, all of that concept. So if you're not rooted, you know what I mean? Like, then, you know, then you could easily be taken, right? But she goes, you know, I thought about it in a different way, because if you are well rooted, what if he's, and you know how you say we're like trees? What if he just comes by and just plucks you, like, hey? And if you're rooted, you're gonna hang on. She's like, I hate to be stuck back behind. Like, man, it's scary. So I'll leave you with this one. Enoch 60, it says, in those days I beheld long robes given to those angels, who took to their wings and fled, advancing towards the north. And I inquired of the angel, saying, wherefore have they taken those long ropes and gone forth? He said, they are gone forth to measure. The angel who proceed with me said, the angel who proceed with me said, there are the measures of the righteous. The cords shall the righteous bring, that they may trust in the name of Yahweh of spirits forever and ever. And the elect shall begin to dwell with the elect. Man, that's beautiful, man. You know what's scary, though? This is what's scary, because I thought about this movie. You don't think family, these people watch these movies? I mean, you don't think these people know about these books, man? That stuff is scary. It's scary. Now, in this case, it says, these are the measures. The angels who proceeded with me said, these are the measures of the righteous. The measures of the righteous. You mean, depending on Are you gonna hang on, bro? Are you righteous enough to hang on? Is he giving you a cord for you can actually make it? The cord shall be the righteous to bring. I'm sorry, the cord shall the righteous bring, that they may trust in the name of Yahoo or spirits forever and ever. If you ain't scared, if that don't scare you, I don't know, man. Anyhow, that's all I got, family. Hope it was edifying, man. Hey, Julio, I hope you appreciate it, bro. I really do, man. I did this class kind of thinking about you and your family, bro, because I understand that y'all trying to do this thing as best as you can. And this goes for all you brothers and sisters, too, bro. All you got to do is just ask, and I'll be more than willing to do a class. I got no problem with it. So, again, remember the days, okay? So you have Passover, April 22nd, okay, to 23rd. Then you have Feast Unleavened Bread, the 23rd through the 30th. Well, technically the 29th, sorry, I'm sorry. The 30th, it ends on the 30th at night. All right? So just keep that in mind. All right? Keep that in mind. The Day of Atonement, as I told you before, it's on the 12th, sundown to sundown. And Tabernacle is 17th through the 25th. Get those dates right. And once more, I'll show you again. Or did I close it already? Oh, I closed it already. Hold on a second. I still got it. What are you talking about, Willis? What are you talking about, Tony? Hold on a second, fam. Shoot. Here it goes right here. Okay, so we have new moons. The next new moon is on the 10th. The following moon, on February the 10th. March the 10th. April the 8th. May the 8th. June the 6th. July the 6th. August the 4th. September the 3rd. October the 2nd. November the 1st. December the 1st. And we can talk about the other ones later. So that means 18, 25, 1 and 8. So this 18th is the 7th day, the 25th, the 1st, and the 8th. Let's focus on those. Do your best that you can to keep those. Ask the Most High for guidance, deliverance. If this makes sense, all praises, all glory to our Father. If you think I'm crazy, well, then, maybe I am crazy, bro. And maybe y'all making it, I don't, and I'm being real about that, man, because I'm not here to lure anybody into sin, bro. I want you guys to do it right. If somebody knows how to do this better than me, please show me, because I'm a student before I'm a teacher. Anyhow, if you guys don't have any questions, man, I think we're good now. Hope y'all do well. Have a good night, and guess that's it, bro. Ya estuvo. Vale, pues, cuídense, hermanos, eh. Ahí los veo después, and let me leave you guys with a good song. You know how I always do it, man. You know how I always do it. Me. You know I always do it. There's always like a little message at the end. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully. Ahí les va, ¿eh? Para que ya me conoce, güey. Wow, hola, les va.
¡Viva México, cabrón!
Deja que salga la luna, deja que se meta el sol, deja que caiga la noche, pa' que empiece nuestro amor. Deja que las estrellitas me llenen de inspiración para decirte cositas muy bonitas, corazón. Yo sé que no hay en el mundo amor como el que me das, y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más. y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más. Cuando estoy entre tus brazos, siempre me pregunto yo, ¿cuánto me debía el destino que contigo me pagó? Por eso es que ya mi vida toda te la entrego a ti, tú que me diste en un beso lo que nunca te pedí. Yo sé que no hay en el mundo amor como el que me das, y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más. Y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más. Deja que salga la luna.
Yo sé que un día volverá. Triste pena, ya dejemos ya. Yo sé que un día volverá. Esta pena yo lo voy a buscar, y no me acuerdo de ella. Amor, amor amargo, amor llamadita amargo, amor con mi querer. confundir un amor de verdad, pero ya lo siento ya. Hoy para vivir, amor confundir y no sabe llorar. Hoy para vivir, amor confundir y no sabe llorar. Es un amor verdad.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.